say, I got this guy. I got him.
Okay. Let me, where we last left our dipshit former president, he was talking about how he'd only be a dictator for one day, and Sean Hannity was helping him do cleanup, and how people don't know he's even in his car because the windows are so dark. And we're just going to jump around in this shit because we can needle drop into some dumb fuckery with this guy. I'm not worried that we will not, in the first 35 seconds, find some blowhard bullshit to laugh about. Now, hold on. All right, so hold on. He's telling a big story. Also, can I just say, one of the things he didn't point out at the Young Republicans gathering is that the front row is full of people like Steve Bannon and that ilk. Hardly young and definitely, questionably Republican at this point, just maggot soldiers. And the majority of this, from what I've seen of the two clips that were posted, which is him kind of defending his dictator comments and whatever, is he blathers on for a long fucking time with this. And it's because he feels like it's like a chit chat session with some of his, his sycophants, like Steve Bannon, because he keeps referencing them in the crowd. Here you go. Yeah, this is the locker room talk area, but...
To me, sir, I've been on the battlefield many...
Yeah, that's that guy. Okay, so that's where he was.
Locker room talk, what?
Right, so this is right after locker room talk. Most of you have seen the locker room talk
What the hell? What are you talking? Locker room talk. That was not a great...
Yeah, it was not a great excuse. It was not a great moment. It was fucked up. Notice how he bails out of it. Like, he starts to tell the story and then just goes, oh, fuck, I'm reminding everyone what a, misogynist fucking pig I am.
And, I dropped 11 points.
Yeah, and you think you would have learned your fucking lesson.
11 points, and then after the debate, I went up 13 points. You remember that? I went boom, boom. It looked like somebody with a really bad heart.
Yeah, that's because the other people running for the Republican nomination at that point did so poorly that there were some people like, just pull the pin on this fucking grenade before we get Jeb Bush in there.
It went like this, bing, bing. It was a little gap. In fact, to this day, people say, what the hell was this event? I can tell you, but we won't get into it.
Yeah, but we won't get into it. He knows he should be embarrassed by it, and yet he won't be.
But that was an incredible event, but it was an incredible campaign.
Yeah, it was an incredible event. The event he's talking about where the Access Hollywood tape came out and people heard him saying he just grabs women by the pussy and he can do it because he's a star and they let you. And then he was just going to start kissing this woman before she even said hello. Right.
And we won and nobody thought we could win. Nobody thought any Republican could win. And now they're starting to say we can. The Washington Post had us 11 points up. And they said, this is an outlier. They paid $1.5 million for a poll. And they said their own...
No, by the way, he paid $1.5 million for a poll.
Poll is an outlier. I said, this is like... So then they had it rechecked, and it turned out to be 12 points. You know that. They haven't announced it. So we're going to give it a shot. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen enthusiasm like I've...
Enthusiasms.
Seen right now, Steve. There's never been enthusiasm.
Yeah, we may not have the numbers, but boy, are these fuckers loud and mad.
No, we did great with one. We did better with two, but...
He means the elections in order, the first election and the second election.
There's never been anything like this. And Gavin, I will tell you, in writing down, and I was just asking Secret Service, how the hell do they know I'm in the car? Because we have windows this thick. They're like really good.
Yeah, but they're also see-through. They're tinted, but they're not completely opaque. You fucking moron. Because it's dangerous to have completely blacked out windows. You can, if the light hits right and outward, like they can see out very well because they have to threat assess it like this fucking guy.
Very good. I have guys walking up to that thing. If they held a little thing, I'd say, go ahead, shoot. You know what happens? The bullet bounces back and kills them. That's what I got him. They say, I got this guy. I got him. Go ahead and shoot. Here I am. Shoot. Bing, bong. That's the end.
Jesus Christ. What a fucking idiot. So this, first of all, what does this story really tell us? Besides that he's a child and completely incapable of adult thought. He's also scared of assassination right now. Do I smell burnt toast? Yeah, I'm getting symptoms of his stroke. No, the like, and yeah, everybody's a tough guy behind bulletproof glass. You asshole, Ace. Another running scared reference. But yeah, this is about his paranoia. Like he sees people coming up to the window and it's making him nervous. That's what that statement means more than anything else. Like, why the fuck would you bring up, like, go ahead, walk up to the window, fucking shoot right in, bounce right off and kill you. Okay, first off, no, it would not. It does not work that way. Also, do not encourage that. Not to your friends and not your enemies, certainly, you asshole.
The windows are that thick.
Yeah, the windows are that thick. I can be a tough motherfucker behind bulletproof glass that's that thick, which it isn't, but whatever. He still thinks he's in The Beast. I don't. And also, they're going, Trump, you're so tough. Like, it's so odd.
You know,
no, I don't know. No, tell me.
By the way, it's a Saturday night. There's not a lot to do. So we'll stay here for a while. Do we agree?
Oh, this is one of those things where he's very aware that his speeches are long and boring.
And another person who's a warrior, she happens to be a beautiful woman, but I never think about that because I never talk about beauty. To me, I can see the most beautiful woman in the world. It doesn't register with me at all. Beauty doesn't matter. But she's beautiful, but she's a great lawyer.
By the way, that is obvious sarcasm or irony for his audience. They are meant to infer that he is a well-known philanderer and a complete fucking pig. That, believe me, that's sarcasm.
And she's
verbal irony.
Been a tremendous protector of.
But here's the thing. He's talking about Alina Habba, and you can tell there's already an issue either with Melania or Alina Habba herself.
A lot of very important people, and she's done an incredible job, and she has tremendous courage. You know, I have these high-priced lawyers, and
I have these high-priced lawyers, and then I have Alina Habba.
They're fine, but they go out
and they're fine. I have these high-priced lawyers, and they're fine. But this chick I pay shit to.
I say, go speak to the press. And, you know, you have these animals out there. Oh, there they are, right up there. Whoa. You have these animals out there. They're vicious animals.
There are vicious animals, you know. And what do you do with a vicious animal, obviously? Bing, bang, boom.
And these high-priced guys, you know, they're beautiful guys, nice, beautiful suits.
Beautiful is the word of the night.
Everything nice, pay a lot of money to these people. Go out and speak to the press, sir. I'd rather not. And she goes, I'll do it. And she goes out there, she's fierce. She's a fierce person. And we appreciate it. Alina Habba.
Again, the dodges about her looks and all that kind of shit is just gross because that's all they talk about when she's not around and probably when she is.
Alina, she says, I'll do it, sir, I'll do it. And she goes and she makes the news every night.
Well, she makes up some news every night. The other night she made the news because there was a woman who was sexually assaulted. I think it was Mar-a-Lago, and she talked her out of going after a settlement against them. And yeah, it's great. It's great. Like she's a real hero.
She makes the news every night, screaming at these maniacs. Alex Bruzewicz, who has been incredible. Where is that? Alex, I want to see him. Alex Brusewitz. Where are you, Alex?
Brusewitz or Bersowitz? What are you saying?
Thank you. What a job you've done between you and D.C. Drano and Alex Stein and Jack. Where's Jack? Where's Jack?
Prosobiec, I think you mean.
Where is he? Jack, I want to see you.
There's a lot of Jacks there, dumb fuck.
Great job, Jack. Thank
He waited for all the Jacks to stand up and then pointed to the one he was talking about.
you. What a job you do.
It's a job. It is. It's such a job.
You know, we have an incredible thing. We're always talking about the fake news and the bad, but we have guys, and
We have fake news like you've never seen before, like the likes
these are
of.
the guys should be getting Pulitzers. You know, we're suing the Pulitzer organization, and we're suing them because they gave the Pulitzer Prize to people that reported on fair and accurately Russia, 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 but it turned out to be totally false. And even they admit now it was a scam.
No, they don't.
So we say, you know, we're actually suing them, right, Boris?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Right, Boris? Or as I like to refer to him, unindicted co-conspirator number 7.
We're suing them, and I hear we're doing very well.
Oh, yeah, you're doing great. You're totally going to win the Pulitzer law thing against the Pulitzer people for doing not right things in terms of the Pulitzer and suing them.
They haven't got a response.
Yeah. Well, nothing says doing well like people blowing off your lawsuit and going, is the shredder fixed or can I know it is. You know what? Can I do this one by hand? Thank you very much.
We're saying, we're demanding that the Pulitzer Prize be taken away from these people that got it because they were wrong. The ones that should get it are also here, many of them, and they're incredible people. And
they're incredible. I mean, you know, obviously it's our fake news, and that's why we want it, because we don't understand what the Pulitzer is about at all, and also that it's a private group and they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can be right and wrong at the same time. Who gives a shit?
they should get it, and we want them to get it, and we also want damages because great damage was caused by their bad reporting. Raheem Kassam. Raheem. Where is Raheem? What a good job you do.
What a good job, boy. You guys, good job.
Thank you, Raheem. Great job.
Yeah, great job.
Scott Pressler. Fantastic. Thank you, Scott. And, of course, Cash Patel. Thank you, Cash.
Thank you, Cash, for arranging some of the shenanigans. The Keystone Cop box maneuvers were on your watch. Thanks a lot.
Great job. Get ready, Cash. Get ready. All of you guys get ready. Paul.
Yeah, get ready. You're all going to get a job in my cabinet and pardons on day one.
And Gracia, thank you very much. You've been fantastic. What a writer. Thank you. Thank you. What a job. And all of the countless other distinguished guests that we have here. We have too many to go through, but I wanted to mention a few.
Yeah, there's just too
Even
many.
outside, it's packed. And they're really incredible people, and they're very brave people. And
You're being shadow banned, ATM 1995? Huh. I could see you. It's terrible. Maybe you're being banned by the shadow.
very great patriots. 11 months from now, each of you will vote in the most important election of your lives. It's the most important election. I used to say
some of you will vote 3-4 times if you're from the villages.
2016 was the most important election, but this is far more important, you know?
Because you weren't on the cusp of going to jail right before 2016, although all of these crimes happened around that time, so you should have.
We had a border problem in 2016, but it was minor by comparison to this. And
like
I ran the campaign on the border, and I won. But this is far greater. And in 2020, I kept saying to my people, I want to talk about the border. They said, sir, we don't have a problem. You straightened it out. I said, that's...
They said, sir, you put up the wall and it sucks. It works. It's worse now that you put up the border wall and we can't figure it out. We're scrambling to figure out why your wall made things worse. Besides, of course, the access road running along the entire length of it on the Mexican side of the border that didn't exist until you constructed this ridiculous slat fence.
Good, I want to tell them that. He said, nobody wants to listen to that, sir. You straighten it out. We had a great border. I couldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, because people were dying of COVID hand over fist, and everybody was like, the border, Mexicans won't even come in here because we have more cases than Mexico does.
Now the border crisis is the worst in history. There's never
Yeah, it's weird. Just after the building of the wall.
been any border like this from any country. So this election will decide whether your generation inherits a fascist country or a free country, whether you
Right, yeah. You're the fascist part of it, and yeah.
you have the rule of tyrants or the rule of law, whether
Yeah, and of course they've weaponized law, and as soon as I get in there, I'm going to fuck some people up.
America will be destroyed by crooked Joe Biden and his goons, or whether we the people will make America great again. Make America great again.
It's right there. It's the old, normally I would play my hits at full volume or whatever, but I've decided I'm going to take it down a notch and turn Make America Great Again into a jazz trio ensemble version. Instead of the big bombastic version of Make America Great Again that became a country rock hit, we're just going to sit on some fucking stools on an area rug and somebody's going to play the bongos. And this is just kind of, it's not a low energy version of it. I would call it that. There is a
Which I think is the greatest phrase in the history of politics, don't you think? No, I think so. Ronald Reagan had "Let's make America great," so it was different. Somebody said, "Oh, but Ronald Reagan." No, he didn't. He didn't. Number one, it wasn't a big deal with him. But
no, it wasn't a big deal. In his defense, it wasn't a big deal, and he got reelected. So maybe you lost because it was a big deal. Maybe it was too big a deal. Maybe you were outweighed by your own brand.
he had "Let's make America great," which is okay. But "Make America Great Again," how powerful is that? MAGA.
Well, that's because "Let's Make America Great" had to come before. He also did say "Make America Great Again," but also, I'm just saying, "Let's Make America Great" is the initial greatness they were talking about. And heretofore, Republicans have said that was a high point, a high watermark in America's greatness was when Reagan was in office, hence the again part. So you're basically, in the Republican human centipede, you're the one with your mouth on his ass. I'm just saying, I'm just making a diagram people can understand.
Yeah, MAGA. I tell that to Biden, I say,
No, you don't.
Joe,
No, you didn't. You haven't spoken to him. He doesn't talk to you.
when he gets
I say, Joe, and then someone comes up and asks me why I'm talking to the furniture.
up, we've got to stop the MAGA extremists. Yeah, I'm extreme about making America great again, right? We're extremists.
We're very extremists. We're extremists, And all that guy at the FBI office in Cincinnati was trying to do, or the guy who held up in his house with a fucking pipe bomb that blew up his fucking house and two others, they're just they were just extremely into MAGA.
They can't get away. It's such a great.
They can't get away. They can't escape. Nope. Nobody can escape the extremism. Basically, MAGA's like a black hole, It's not like, some people call it a chocolate swirly, but I would say it's a black hole. Everything gets sucked into it. Light, joy, anything. Just churned right up like a blender.
We almost changed it to CAG,
No. You suggested that, and everyone went, hey, marketing genius, it sounds like you're choking.
That. Because we had America great.
Yeah, especially right in the middle of COVID when everybody was dying and there really was no way out of it. And you were throwing that warp speed horse shit around to make everybody feel like the vaccines were rushed because fucking warp speed sounds like you're rushing it. And then they didn't want to take it.
We were doing.
That's a white hole. Is it Boston Brian? I don't know. It's starting to look like, I think it's an orange hole, and that's scaring me, even the conversation.
So great. We had the greatest economy, all the things.
All the bullshit I usually say.
So I had another one, keep America great.
Yeah, and I was like, I woke up with it. It was genius. And people were like, excuse me, CAG? Yeah. Klan America great.
But somehow it never registered the same way. MAGA is the greatest phrase, I think, in the history of politics anywhere. You know, I tell the story that Pat Buchanan, who's a
Oh, I haven't heard this story, but I'm honestly, I'm super excited.
wonderful guy,
Great guy, super good guy, super racist guy.
conservative guy. And he became a very famous political pundit, did
He did?
great. He had a wonderful life, and he's still,
He did have a wonderful life. And then what happened?
you know, I think he's around, and
I think he's around. He's not dead, if that's what you mean.
he's an older guy right now. But
So are you.
he had a wonderful life.
Hold on. Wait, I have to look. I honestly, I don't know how old Pat Buchanan is. Hold on. His, hold on. Shit. Move over. This crazy thing. Let's see. Where is he? Hold on. Why is everything cut off on this silly page? Hold on. There he goes. No Wikipedia. I don't want to donate right now. Let's see. Yeah, he's 85 years old. He's 5 years older than Biden. There we go. Sorry. Thanks, guys. You were already jumping in. And he's alive. Yeah.
Life on doing well in New Hampshire. He did well in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's what he was known for. That and being being in the soundly, I would say, in the fuck the dog whistle camp.
We won 50 states. Think of it. Last time we won 50 states. We won 32 states in the election, but we won 50 states. We probably won 50 states in the election too, but we won't.
No, you didn't.
Won't get into that.
No, you fucking well didn't. You Mike Pillow. What's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. You Mike Pillow.
Asshole.
Right. You did not win 50 fucking states. Yeah, he won 52. Like a
Asshole.
Right.
But think of it.
I am thinking of it.
This is the greatest movement in history.
No, I think this is the greatest movement in history.
When you look outside and you see thousands of people,
You don't actually.
even outside, it's packed.
Yeah. This is, the small rooms are getting to him.
When you see us coming down, I was about to say, they couldn't see. The people were going wild. Somebody in my car said, you know, you can win New York. The people are going wild. And I said, how do they know it's even me in the car? Because you can't tell.
You can't, no, you know how they know which car has you in it? The left side of the car is lower than the right side of the car. See, all the other ones have like Secret Service guys and they're all basically balanced in weight. And then I guess it must be like they have a 215-pound limit or whatever, but they just go, oh, that's the one that's sagging in the middle. It's this he's in the sway back Humvee.
And the people are going crazy. They're
They are, yeah. A lot of them are giving you the finger,
waving and, you know, giving you
giving you the New York salute.
all sorts of fist pumps and everything.
Fist pumps. All right.
I'm telling you, this is a place that can.
Well, you know, what does a fist bump mean? Though?
Don't touch my hands because they're dirty.
That's
We
right.
won, and we have the team to do it. For 4 straight years, our opponents have been waging an all-out war on American democracy. They tried to overthrow the duly elected president. Thank you very much. With one hoax, witch hunt.
What is he thanking Steve for putting the fact that he really won the 2016 election in there?
And abuse of power.
Or is he? Oh, does he think? Yeah, because that's about the Mueller, investigation and all that kind of shit, and his impeachments that before January 6th, like before he lost the election. But I think he thinks it means after the election that he won.
Another, one after another, right? All of the different things. Mueller, we had Mueller to take care of. We had.
Oh, did you take care of him? What'd you do? Give a reach around or?
Had more than anybody. And think of it, we had all of that going on. And
You had all that going
still,
on.
people, I was reading today, many people consider this to be one of the greatest presidencies, all of the many things we did.
Really? Many people? Are they all in that room?
Greatest tax cuts in history, rebuilt our military, defeated ISIS, Space Force.
The greatest thing since Ass Force, I think. A lot of people feel that way.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force. We did so much.
And yet, so little of it lasts.
We became energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant. Then they rigged and stole the election of 2020. And since Biden got in, he has been weaponizing government against his political opponents like a raging third world tyrant. That's what he's been doing. He looks
like a raging third world tyrant. Yeah.
like an innocent guy. I actually don't really know that it's him, because I know the people that surround him. I think it's them, and he's a perfect vessel. He's so good. They love him because he has no idea what the hell he's doing. He has no idea where he is. He can't put two sentences together.
I see. So he's going with the Biden is innocent in this entire exchange and that he's not the bad guy. It's the people that are around Biden that are controlling him. Which I got to say kind of undercuts your election push on the guy.
And he can't get off a stage. He can never find his way off the stage. You know, like this stage has a stair.
Oh, right. That's because he has friends everywhere, and so he waves at them, and everybody thinks he's walking off the stage where there are no stairs. But he's like, hey, I'll come around. I'll tell you what, I'll come around. But because he's older, everybody, like, cuts a little chunk of it, and that's the story.
There, a stair here, a stair there. Or you could jump off the, front.
Yeah, stage dive at 81 years old. That's a great idea. How about you try it first? I'm sure they'll catch you. I guarantee the entire front row will try to catch you on their mouths.
The guy can't. But to show you how dishonest the press is.
Oh, he's going to get mad about the Lincoln Project attack.
Until I got indicted, I was pretty nice to him because I have great respect for the office of the presidency.
Which you don't think he really runs?
You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, Steve? It's so much better. Because I have so much.
Oh, just so you know, Steve Bannon is the Steve he's referring to. That's the guy that he pardoned for bilking maggots out of their money for a fake build the wall scheme. Just in case you're just now catching up, hit that like button.
Respect for the office. So I wasn't really hitting him. In fact, some people said you could hit him harder.
He was saying the exact same shit.
I said, no, he's president. I don't want to hit him that
bullshit
hard. And once I got indicted the first time, and then the second, third, fourth, and then they were going to do two more, and they called in, we're going to indict this guy into office. Stop. Don't do him. Don't do him.
Don't do him. Don't do him. Is that a don't do him, like them, don't do the indictments, or don't do him? I don't know. It's fucking weird.
And I could be indictment proof right now. I don't think they can do it.
Test it. You should try. You should see. I would say go for it.
Sid, I don't think they can do it. But they stopped it. They heard about it. I think they sent their biggest people. Don't do it! Local DAs, all controlled by the White House. Local attorney generals, state attorney generals.
Federal attorney generals.
And what's happened is, since the indictment, the gloves are off. It's just, you can't do any worse than this. I got indicted first time in history. First time in history. And I always...
Well, you are a special case. You are particularly gross.
Say Al Capone.
Oh, God.
The greatest of them all, gangster.
The greatest of them all, gangster. Yeah, that's true. He did bash people's brains in and murder them and have people summarily executed and, yeah.
Scarface. He'd kill you.
Oh, by the way, he just watched the Amazon Prime documentary on Al Capone. That's why he keeps bringing it up.
He'd kill you, Mr. Congressman. If he...
Oh, yeah, is that guy's name? I forgot. I'm so glad you brought it up. I'm so glad you remembered. I was there the whole time. I was like, what's that guy's name? You're like, oh, Mr. Congressman. Yeah, him. Yeah, you know him.
He thought he was smiling at the table. If you were smiling at him in a way that he thought was mocking, because he was, nasty person. He would kill you. He would kill many, many people.
No. I gotta say, like, Capone wasn't that, like, didn't have a weak fucking ego. He killed people for disloyalty and shit. He didn't just snap and blow people's fucking brains out. He ran a giant organization, dipshit.
He was probably the greatest gangster of them all.
What the fuck does that mean? No, he wasn't. Not even close. He was early in the process. He just got known for it. Jesus Christ. Aren't you the one telling us that MS-13 is the most vicious fucking gang in the world? Who runs them, you dumb fuck?
He got indicted one time. I got indicted 4 times.
Yeah, but that's because they wanted to indict him for fucking murder, for dozens of murders, some of which he participated in personally, but the witnesses were all fucking dead or were afraid they would get killed. He would have been indicted for a bunch of shit. They just got him on tax evasion because it was the only way they could bring him in without a shootout.
Scarface. Not a very nice person. But many people that are, major criminals, very few have had an honor of being indicted 4 times. I'll tell you one.
What? Many major criminals have not had the honor of being indicted 4 times? You mean maybe in 4 different fucking places?
One thing, I'm the first guy that ever got indicted whose poll numbers went up. Nobody.
No, that's not true at all. As a matter of fact, watch the special Get Gotti, or Get Gotti on Netflix. That one's all about the fact that it raised his queue in New York City. And the first time, like the first 3 times, I think he wasn't indicted 3 times and he beat it the rap. They called him the Teflon Don, and then they finally fucking got him. But the first 3 times, he became a celebrity in New York. This is very New York in general. This whole fucking thing. Secondly, one of the reasons why the rednecks like it was because they kind of make him akin to like an old Wild West outlaw, as opposed to a murderous criminal.
That's a fact. Who the hell gets indicted, Matt?
Oh, he's next. He's the wrong, Matt Gaetz. He's the wrong fucking guy to ask. You know who gets indicted? His best fucking friend that made fake IDs for 16-year-old girls so those motherfuckers could fly him out of state, you dumbass. The dude's cooperating still.
And their poll numbers went up, and I don't mean went up. I mean like
a rocket ship.
A rocket ship, because the people get it. They get it. But crooked Joe Biden's banana republic ends on November 5th, 2024.
It ends. No, technically, even if he lost, it wouldn't end till January of 2025. Stupid. And I gotta say, like, if there's a lame duck session and you're gonna take over, you don't think Biden's gonna fucking officially pardon everybody? Like, just to fuck with you?
And you've been seeing what's going on in the past.
Totally, I saw it.
Few weeks, the radical left Democrats and their fake news allies have unveiled their newest hoax that Donald J. Trump and the Republican Party are a threat to democracy. Do you believe it?
It's outrageous.
Can you believe it?
Yes, I can believe it. You fucking said so.
Here I am like an idiot. This is their new line, It's, here we go again. Russia, Russia, Russia. Mueller, Mueller, Mueller. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. One hoax after another. How about Pfizer?
How about Pfizer?
They don't talk about the fake Pfizer.
No, they don't talk about
reports signed.
No, the fake Pfizer reports signed and what?
So bad, right? Signed.
And signed and so bad, right? Signed. What were they? Were they written? You mean signed with a signature, or are we talking about American Sign Language?
But no, I'm not a threat. I will save democracy. The threat is crooked Joe Biden.
I'm a rubber ball. You're glue. Whatever you say, bounce off me and sticks to you. It's so good. So true.
That's the threat.
That's the threat. He's the threat. I'm not the threat. He says I'm a threat. He's the threat. I just say that. Think about it.
And they think that the threat to democracy, and that's what it is.
democracy. The threat to what?
That's the threat. And they think that the threat to democracy, and that's
Trissy.
what it is. It's a hoax. It's
It's a hoax.
we call it now.
What do we call it? Make up the name right there on the spot, and it's pithy as fuck.
The threat to democracy hoax.
It's because that's what I call it. So it's the threat to democracy hoax. Because I can't just use the one word, threat hoax, that doesn't make sense. So, and we can't say threat to democracy like Mueller. So I call it the threat to democracy hoax. Because I'm a marketing genius.
That's what it is. These guys are so good with misinformation, disinformation. It's a slight difference, you know.
One is active, one is passive.
You know that, Sid, right? There is a slight difference. If you want, we can talk about it.
Yes, people are misinformed or they're actively trying to disinform people. That is the difference. Passing along bad information that you believe is real, that's misinformation. Intentionally creating fake stories or fake ideas or whatever and passing them along to dupe people, that's disinformation.
But let's not bore the audience.
Now, let's not bore the audience. I was able to do it in 2 fucking sentences, but you go ahead.
Misinformation. You know that, Bannon?
Yeah, Bannon knows, of course. He's in the disinfo business, dumb fuck.
Misinformation and disinformation. It's like...
What's it like? Here comes the analogy. This is going to be good.
All of the prisoners that are coming out from all over the world in jails and prisons.
Okay.
So people say, why do you say jails and prisons? Because there is a slight difference.
I see. So you do realize it's not a meaningful difference unless you want to assure the American people that some of the people coming across the border have not been found guilty of their charges. They were just jailed until trial. They may be guilty, they may not. And so it's nice of you to make that distinction. Also, if misinformation is accidentally saying a bad piece of information or spreading it, and disinformation is doing it on purpose, then what? In this analogy, people go to jail accidentally, but prison on purpose? The fuck?
Well, there's also a difference in dis and miss, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If you diss somebody, you're like throwing down, yo. And if you miss, they're gone. You're never going to see them again. Where are they? There's a big difference between I miss her and I diss her. You know what I'm saying?
And
word.
All of these hoaxes and all of them have been created. This is all they do well. They are sick people. They don't care about our country. They should spend the time on China, screwing us on trade. And we would have...
Yeah, that's not happening anymore, by the way. I mean, I suppose, look, who am I to say? Your daughter still has those trademarks and she can do what she wants with them. How, God knows what she's doing to the market for knockoff bullshit purchases, but...
have the greatest country. We would have the strong... If they use that genius, that sick genius, they could do some wonderful things, but...
Oh, you mean like, I'm with you. So you're saying if Biden used all the cleverness he has and the team he has around him, that if they worked really hard, they could stop companies from giving technology to China that can be used for the military, maybe even block chips manufacturing in China altogether, and then put sanctions on companies. So denying the Chinese military all that technology. And then, of course, they could keep whatever sanctions you put on them and tariffs and maybe add on to them, effectively choking off China's entire economy. Nah.
They don't, because they're sick.
Oh, that's why. Well, if they're sick, then they really can't help it. They just need help. I mean, it's a sick person. It's just, like, if they're criminal, that's one thing. But if they're corrupt criminals, that just means they're innocent.
They think the threat to democracy hoax will save Biden from having created the worst inflation in our country's history.
Oh, right. With all that infusion of cash that came in 2020, was it? And the supply chain shock that started in 2020, was it?
Fragile economy that may soon end in a depression, much like 1929. Have you heard that before?
I've heard of the Depression of 1929, but no, we're not on the precipice of a depression, dumb fuck. This is, and by the way, the reason he's saying this is because they've been pushing the idea that we have been in a recession, and we've already were in a recession, or we're still in a recession, but there's one right around the corner that's even worse, and yet we still haven't. And according to him, we're still riding on the fumes of his presidency, I guess.
You watch.
I will watch. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for a depression like no one has ever seen before.
We are very, very close to it.
We're so close. I guess if you get elected, I guess is that we're that close.
Depression, the likes of which you have never seen.
Well, unless you're 108 years old or something like that.
We owe $36 trillion, and this guy has no clue. And you know that Mitch McConnell gave him $10 trillion for them to hand away like candy. He's.
Oh, you mean when Mitch McConnell didn't kill the raising the debt limit to pay for the $6 trillion that you added to the budget that had to be paid, that was already allocated during 2020. That by insisting on paying your fucking bills.
Almost, I could say, and maybe he is worse than any of them, that he allowed them to have votes. He needed 10 votes, 12 votes. He needed different votes.
Yes, some sort of voting situation.
He gave them many times votes. You add it up, it's close to $10 trillion. And they go and they hand it out like candy. And it's the one thing they can say. And
well, all right. For the record, Captain Gumdrops, the bridges and roads in this country that are being repaired from the Infrastructure Act are not made from gumdrops. Now, it may seem like a dreamy sugar plum land out there to you folks, but that's all up in the noodle. That's you're making that up. It's asphalt. It's good old fashioned asphalt and steel and concrete, stuff like that. There are none of the bridges are made of sugar plums. I want you to feel safe driving across them.
The only reason they got it is because Mitch McConnell and his little
did refuse to crash the economy on your behalf.
Gang of people gave it to him, and it's a disgrace to the Republican Party, and it's a disgrace to our nation. Disgrace.
Say disgrace again. That helps. It's a good word because you've never really used it much, and yeah.
But I have to be careful when I say that because Matt Gaetz is a big fan of Mitch McConnell. He's a big fan, and Bannon must love him. You love Mitch. I don't know. He seems to be checked out now. He seems to be checked out. I hope the hell he gets out of there. And
these are, I would like to say, this is the Senate Minority Leader of their party that they're talking about, just for the record. And he's discussing it with a guy he pardoned for fucking maggots out of their money for a fake build a wall, and a congressman who's on deck to be expelled after George Santos because he's a fucking creep.
Another thing I'll do that nobody else would be able to do or even
is shit my pants while signing a anti-shitting your pants bill.
Think about is we will not have a World War III under President Trump. But you might very well have one under what's happening now.
Oh, I see. So, real quick, if we do have a World War III before you're elected, are you just going to have, will you promise not to have a World War IV, or is that what you're talking about? You're like, you won't have a World War III. You'll go, World War III, fuck, that's old news. It's World War IV, baby. It even, it rhymes, so it flows better. And I mean, honestly, I think World War IV would be difficult for Trump to say anyway.
Christopher Columbus, Christopher.
You know what I mean?
This happens, this will be a war like no other war. This
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they didn't have drones during the Civil War, and
will be a war the likes of which this world has never seen because of modern day weaponry.
Yeah, that's true of every war. That is literally true of every major war anyways. Like, one of the reasons why this side that used to fight this side, or this side that used to fight them back or whatever, why one of them thinks we are going to get them this time is because of new technology. Always.
I mean, think about it. In Hiroshima, we've all seen it many times.
Have you?
And Nagasaki, just think about it. Multiply that explosive power times 500, Mr. Congressman.
Yeah, Mr. Congressman. You know, or is that, I got to squint, is that Mrs. Congressman? Congressperson, I think, in general. Also, say his fucking name, dum-dum. And we've had nukes 500 times more powerful than Hiroshima and Nagasaki since, what, 8 months after?
500. And that's the kind.
And I rebuilt them. So not only are they much more damaged, I rebuilt our nuclear. We have all new nuclear. I put on a new backsplash on it. It's fantastic. I had people from HGTV come over. All the nuclear silos have gold faucets and shitters.
Kind of power we're talking about. This would.
Yeah, this motherfucker just watched Oppenheimer. No, he didn't. There's no way he sat through Oppenheimer. There's no way. He saw the trailer.
Be a war like nobody's ever seen. Probably.
Well, I mean, obviously, and then it'll be too late.
Obliteration.
Probably obliteration. Maybe not. I don't know. Probably obliteration. Two words that just flow. You know what I mean? They just kind of go together. Probably obliteration.
Biden is the real threat to democracy for two simple reasons.
Oh gosh, what is it? Burmesia? What?
The Burmese executives.
Yeah, that's one.
So this Burmesia, they say, pronounce it Burmesia.
Okay, and then what was the other one?
He's corrupt.
He's corrupt.
And he's incompetent.
And he's incompetent. He's so incompetent, he can't even be corrupt. He's literally, okay, so he's trying to, so Biden is trying to crime, okay? Just understand this. He's in the middle of criming. He's like, we got to do some criming. And they're like, okay, boss, what's your criming plan? And he's like, I think we should build some schools and bridges. And they're like, fuck you, you suck at criming. And he's like, what are you talking about? No, that's the opposite of what we're trying to. Are we going to steal the money to do it? Yeah, we're going to steal the money by asking for it from the taxpayers and going through the process where everyone's representative government votes on it, and if the majority gets it through, then and we'll make sure to, you know, give a little to the other side so they feel okay about signing on to it, so we don't need it to be along party lines. What the fuck what kind of criming is this?
Grossly incompetent.
Grossly incompetent criminal. He's basically a saint.
But we have to fight Democrat misinformation at every corner if the Republican Party is to survive. I mean, they're trying
It's to survive.
to end this party.
Dude, A, party's over. B, you're doing a great job yourself. Seriously, I think Democrats are more invested in saving the Republican Party from itself.
Not going to happen, by the way, but they're trying. We're not going to let that happen. And much
It's a huge crowd there.
more importantly, if our country survives, our country's in trouble. We're not respected. We're not listened to. 3 years.
Except by Netanyahu, who actually had the humanitarian pause temporarily for the exchange of hostages that Blinken worked out with Biden and two other members of the State Department through Qatar in negotiations between Hamas and Israel. And by the way, the only lack of respect we seem to get in terms of our NATO allies and European countries is the MTGs and the Trump sucks on the right who are trying to undermine Ukraine and support Russia.
Years ago, we were more respected, I believe, than this country has ever been.
Yeah, but that's because you were president and everybody had to act like they respect you, which no one does. Some people fear you, other people think you're a messianic figure, but that ain't respect.
I would call these guys, I would get whatever the hell I wanted from them. I didn't have to even make trips.
Right, they just did it anyways. So What you're saying is you didn't work very hard and you got stuff that was just the bare minimum.
President Xi respected your president and he respected our country. Now that
Oh, is that why he sent a giant bioweapon to destroy the entire country and kill people all over the world and stuff during your tenure while he rope-a-doped you in the middle of a trade deal? Nah.
they laugh at us, they lecture us about all sorts of things. They
Yeah, all sorts of things, like math, history.
would have never done that with me.
No, because it wouldn't have helped.
But it's so sad when I see what's happened to our country.
Is it? What do you see? Have you been to the airports lately? Of course not.
We're no longer a leader in the world. And you know, when they talk about
We kind of singularly are.
Ukraine, we put up $200 billion. The European nations, who are approximately the same size as our economy when added up,
Nope.
are in for 18. Why doesn't somebody say equalize like I did with NATO? I said, you have to pay your bills. And I took in $400 billion.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because they don't have the states like North Carolina, Montana, Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, to some degree Florida, and even Nevada that have, and I guess Arkansas as well, because there's a couple of like ammo manufacturers there that have an economic base around military manufacturing that money goes into before it goes to Ukraine. It's money that is made here in the United States. Even if the goods are eventually given, it's still the money is spent locally. Europe doesn't have anywhere near that kind of a system set up, and if they do, it's just for the minimal needs of their individual country.
Just like with Russia, the radical left communists, Marxists, fascists, they're always accusing us of exactly what they themselves.
Exactly. The spittle helps. I do think it's attractive. Hold on one second.
Marxists, fascists, they're always accusing us of exactly what they.
Exactly. It's fantastic. He's turning into Carol Channing. These Marxists and fascists are coming after us.
Themselves are doing. It's what they do best. It's really what they do best.
Isn't it?
They're bad on borders. They're horrible on policy.
Well, I got to say, it's the wall that I blame.
They want high taxes. They're really bad on everything except for cheating on elections, in which they're perhaps one of the most brilliant groups of people in history.
Well, actually, it didn't require a lot of brains to beat you. If you were cheated out of the election, you were president of the United States at the time. You had access to the intelligence service of the United States, all the agencies, and the Federal Election Commission. They didn't even have to try hard.
Every abuse of power, the fake news is ridiculously claiming I will commit is, in fact, being committed by Crooked Joe and his thugs.
Thugs.
They're trying to lock up their political opponents. They want to lock up their political opponents, in particular me. Thank you very much. It's an honor. They're trying.
I don't know why he thinks that, this is definitely him being sarcastic or verbally ironic, but everybody thinks it makes him tough. Like, thank you very much. Like, I fucking need
to
this.
Criminalize free speech and take total control over the American people. But then I came along and I'm standing in their way, and
no, you're not.
Now millions of Americans are joining us. Millions and millions are joining the Republican Party.
No, they aren't. You can, again, like, they put that in there because these folks need to feel like that, it's a numbers game. There's no depth of belief, so they, a shallow body of water needs to go on and on and on. And you would talk about a fucking drain the swamp attitude. They are a swamp. Shallow, murky, mosquito-filled water that goes on for far too long. That's the current Republican Party. People are not joining. They are losing party members, and people are calling themselves independents because of him.
We've never raised so much money, and you know who's giving us the biggest share of the money?
Old people?
People that are paying $61 on average apiece. Think of it. Not the people that are giving us millions.
By the way, the $25 is the average when it's really coming from like the working class. $61 means they're splitting it between people who give, $100 and people who give $5.
Millions of dollars. But the people
And it's weighted towards the
that are
100.
paying $61, there's never been anything like it.
Also, and that's just his PAC, I think.
The only
Or no, his campaign. The PAC itself is just all million.
one, and it's not even close, is Bernie, crazy Bernie. Bernie had a little thing going on.
Madoff?
I remember when he had his rallies, and if he had 2,000 people, they used to say, this rally is massive. It's unbelievable. And I'd have a rally down the street, we'd have 35,000, and they'd say, Trump's giving a rally today. They always used to talk about how big his rally. Remember, Steve?
No, they didn't.
Bernie would have 1,500 people. This is a magnificent, the crowds. I'd give one 35,000 people. Trump had a rally too.
Also, asshole, you didn't run against him. Anytime the crowds were mentioned, it was in either parallel, contrast, or in deficit of whatever was happening with Hillary at the time.
These people, they are the most dishonest people anywhere in the world. They're the fake news, fake news. They are fake.
They are totally fake. And by fake, he means the camera's back there from his campaign.
One of our better terms. We've had a lot of good names. I think fake news is one of the best.
Yeah, you did make that up. Norm Macdonald literally would lead SNL Weekend Update with that every time.
The only problem
Almost every time.
is it's not tough enough because they're much worse than fake. They're fake and they're corrupt. There are a lot of terms, but somehow fake seems to have stuck, so let's leave it that way.
Yeah, it's like a marketing meeting.
Poll numbers reveal that Black, Hispanic, Asian, and just about everybody else want to join the Republican Party right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just about everybody else. And the Black, Hispanic, Asians especially.
Because the Republican Party is the American dream, not the Democrat Party of open borders, chaos.
Is the party of the American dream. I don't think the American dream is being in the Republican Party. Unless, I guess, you're a serial groper.
Uniform laughter. They laugh at us all over the world. The world is laughing at us.
Yes, they are. At you. And by us, you mean the Republican Party. Yeah.
Can you imagine President Xi? I have to say, the press gets very angry when I call him a brilliant person.
No, you're just stupid.
If I say he's brilliant, the next day article, he called President Xi a brilliant person. Yeah.
Also, by the way, this is a dodge. Because when the uproar came, it was because of Kim Jong-un, when he said this similar comments about Kim Jong-un, and Hamas, and Vladimir Putin when he attacked. When he talks about, he makes it about Xi Jinping as kind of a drift, like nobody's up in arms about Xi Jinping in particular, calling him that. They're just, what people react to in that is when he says he's right out of central casting and there's not anybody in Hollywood that's effectively good looking enough to play Xi Jinping. Like, what the fuck?
He controls 1.4 billion people with
No, he doesn't.
an iron fist.
And also not true.
They want me to say he's just of average intelligence. Okay?
Yeah, but he didn't play fucking Go and win Jeopardy to get in that fucking position. He was a princeling who punched his way to the top.
The look, the
In the middle, I
whole
would
thing,
argue.
he stands in front of 1 million soldiers. They walk by.
Yeah, like an asshole.
And they want me to say bad things. Can't say bad things.
Yeah, you can. How about he uses slave labor to undercut the workers in America? How about that? That's pretty easy. How about the aircraft carrier they just built is shit and has a giant crack in the middle of it? Thanks, Brian, for the super chat.
But can you imagine guys like this, Putin?
Oh my gosh, Kimberly, thank you so much for the super chat as well. I didn't see that
Many
one.
of them, even like France, Macron, you know, he's a tricky little guy.
This is, by the way, all the handshaking stuff and all that kind of stuff. We're going to find out that Macron still has his wallet.
No, but they're all sharp. How about Kim Jong-un? He's got more nuclear missiles. I say, can you do anything else? Let's go.
Yes, he has more nuclear missiles now than when you took office.
to a ball game or something. Did you ever? And we became very friendly, and they hate when they say that. You know, when they hear what we
Yeah, he starves people to fucking death, dummy. It's like saying, you don't think these Nazi camp guards are smart guys? Smart guys. They got like a rifle with like 6 shots in it, and yet there's thousands of people, tens of thousands of people in this camp. They're standing on top of the barbed wire. They're not down in it. So smart guys, obviously very smart guys. And what am I supposed to say? They're stupid?
started off very rough. Steve was there, remember? Little Rocket Man? He's Little Rocket Man.
Blah, blah, blah.
He said, I have a red button on my desk. And I said, I have a red button too, but mine's bigger.
I have a green one. It'd make me jump ahead.
And you know, we had a meeting. When we had a meeting, it was in Singapore. It was the biggest press
Biggest what?
scandal anyone's ever seen.
No, it wasn't.
There must have been 10,000 there when I met with Kim Jong-un, because
Yes, because no one could believe an American president would do something this stupid.
he was getting ready to blow up the world. And I wanted to give it a shot to stop him, you know. When Obama, you know, when you sit
By giving him what he wanted.
before you take office, you sit with the president.
Do I?
I said, so tell me, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea is the biggest problem by far. Remember that, Steve? He said the biggest part. I mean, there's nothing you can do. He's
Yeah, that's what he
got
said.
a lot of nuclear weapons, and I think he's willing to use them. I said, have you called him? No. But actually, he did call him.
Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to bump over to, there's only so much, I can only take so much of this asshole in a row. And so we'll take a break from him for the moment. We'll get back to it.